What up? 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 What's good, people? What is up? What is they went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties, and these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really let casting wardrobe? Y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not gonna see it. We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, "Baby, you ate on this first date. You giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins." That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. This what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Ooh, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was gonna stop. I thought Lil Bird was gonna turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Bird was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Uncle Cliff, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had it on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yala Van Zap's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. And you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. Yeah. Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see it. Get me up in my DMs. I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, Joshua or something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Hey, I was not ready. Listen, I got a lot going on. Y'all. I apologize for being late. I know I'm late. I know, but I have a lot going on. Y'all know I be busy. Y'all ain't happy to see me. I'm happy to see y'all. I've been going for a while, and here I am, tag team back again. Yeah, we're here. Let me post on the socials. So that the people know that we are live. And oh boy. And how y'all doing? How was y'all weekend? Y'all notice whenever I'm out of town, it's always a bunch that go on. Now, I say that, and I've been out of town every weekend basically since my birthday, but nevertheless, it's always a lot going on when I'm out of town. We're here. Hello. Hey. Go ahead and hit the like button. If you just coming in, go ahead and get it together. Get your life in order. So we can make this thing pop off. It's time to pop off. Okay? Pop off. Go off. It's time, y'all. It's been a long day, so I'm finna fix me a little drink here's what we going. This is the drink for today. So while I was in the Virgin Islands, right? So I went to the Virgin Islands this weekend. It was not a pleasure trip. It was a business trip. I'm gonna say hey to y'all in a second. Anyway, so we had a business trip in the Virgin Islands, and so they got me some British. I went over to the British Virgin Islands during part of my trip, and so while I was there, they gave me some BVI gin. This is a gin that they make locally, and it has hibiscus and raspberry in it. And you see it says distilled in the British Virgin Islands. Now, I was a little skeptical because it was a gin and it was only 80 proof. Most good gins are higher than 80 proof. Most good gins. But I tried this and it actually was really good. I had a lot of it. It did not make me sin. It did not give me a hangover the next day. I was actually really good the next day. So I told them to get me a bottle and they did, and I brought it back, and yeah, and now we're here. I don't think they sell this stateside. So if you want to get it, you're gonna have to do like I did and go over there and get you some because I don't know where to get it from. I'm just saying. Um, how do I open this? Hold on. I gotta get this open. Okay. Oh, oh. But anyway, y'all know the dossier, y'all. Every day I feel like I'm saying the same thing. Every day I have to complain to y'all that the dossier is real packed and got a bunch in it and a bunch going on. And it just is what it is at this point. I already got my big ice cube in there, my one ice cube. Got it in there. Y'all know I really be having to go through figuring out what to present to y'all and what not to present. Like I really have to go. The biggest task for me every day when I'm preparing the dossier for y'all is for me to decide what I'm gonna put in there and what I'm not gonna put in there. Did I not open this right? Okay, here. There we go. Oh, it smells so good. All right, so we're gonna start with some sparkling water. This is mango orange sparkling water. I like this one, it's really good. I like a little fizz with my stuff. So we're gonna start with a little mango orange sparkling water. That's a good amount right there. There we go, that's a good amount. I gotta make it through the live. So I'm gonna make sure what is going on over here? I'm gonna make sure that I don't do too much liquor. So I'm gonna put that's a good amount. That's enough. I don't want to do too much. You know what I'm saying? I want to do too. Somebody going out there gonna be like, that's a lot of liquor, L Teddy. Who are you judging? Don't judge me. Judge your mama. Don't judge me. Okay. Who are you to judge me? And then to top it off, I got some of this orange pineapple apple that I'm going to pour and top it off with. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh, you're wasting. All right. And that's gonna be a nice little drink right there, y'all. See how we just threw that together? I just saw it in my kitchen. I said, let me put these three things together. And there we go. All right, we don't wasted enough time. We don't wasted enough time. Let me greet you all appropriately. Let me say hey to y'all. And then we're gonna get this party started. Y'all ready? I mean, if let me go ahead and say hello, because if I don't say hello to the right people, they're gonna start cussing me out. And all. Let me give my preliminary hello to Tracy W. I don't even know if she in the chat yet, because I ain't even looked at the chat. But I know if I don't say hi to Tracy W, she gonna get mad and cuss me out. I ain't got the type of time. So hello to Tracy W, whether or not you are in the chat or not. Oh, that is good. Hey girl, hey, how you doing? You all right today? How was your day at work? How was your weekend? Did you miss me, girl? I miss you too, girl. All right. Now let's see who in the chat. Candace F is first. Hey, boo. Hey, my love. Tracy W is in the chat. Look at Tracy W. She right there. Look at her. Cha. Hey, Symmetry. How are you, sweetheart? Ain't nobody tell you to change that avatar again, Symmetry. You just can't be changing avatars. Hey, Universal Goddess. Hey, Catherine Powell. What's going on, doll baby, dear one? Love bug. Jeannie, how you doing today? How are you? China White is in the building. Hey, sweetheart, Miss Shorty B here is here. Hey, Tanya Boo. You know I always feel better when I see you in the chat, Tanya. If I don't see you, Tanya, I be feeling some kind of way. So now that I see you, I'm all right. I did press go live and was not ready. I was in a meeting. I had some stuff going on. Listen, you act like you're not glad to see me, Angela. Jason, what's good, bruh? It has been a mess all year. Listen, I'm not going nowhere over the weekend. Ciao. Oh. T, we're gonna get into it, T. We're gonna get into it. I was on St. Thomas, Janae. I was on St. Thomas, and then we went over to the BVI to Tortola. I was in St. Thomas Thursday, Friday. We went to Tortola most of the day on Saturday, then came back Saturday night, and I left yesterday night from St. Thomas. I went to some good restaurant. I think it was called Greenhouse. I think it's called Greenhouse. Something like that. The governor over there in St. Thomas is my frat brother. So hung out with him. They gave me showed me a great time. It was a good time. Cha. Hero. Hey, to you, Hero. Hey, Aquarius goddess, what's going on, sweetheart? Quintessential has her face in the place. That's OG hall monitor right there. That is an OG hall monitor. Okay, play around if you want to in these hallways and see if Quintessential do not gather you. That's old school hall monitor right there. She go back to 2019. Quintessential. I ain't even got the most I got in terms of snacks. I was eating on some of these. Somebody bought me some of these, and I'm only eating them out of respect to them. I don't like Haribo gummies at all because all of the Haribo gummies you could damn near chip a tooth on. These don't taste bad, but it's Haribo, and Haribo. I don't care for Haribo gummies because they're so hard. Like you could chip a tooth on their gummies. That's all I got. See who else around these parts. Montrez, what's good, bruh? Hey, Janae. You stay pull you up one child. It's already been the week already got started with a whole bunch of fuck shit. Hey, Lock Queen Boo. Child, Final Womanhood Month. That's what it is. Child, I got a friend of mine, Quintessential. She is Zeta. If you say Zeta any type of way, she finna start doing calls and start screaming out Z Kitty, meow, and all. Listen, she be so serious too. One time we was next to each other, so she was all in my ear. I say, "You in my ear?" She be real serious. Hey, P-Lo Didi. While I'm thinking about it, since we talk about Zeta, let me get this out the way. It's not in the dossier, but I am going to talk about this now. Since it's been hey Ronald, you finally got through with you and your little twink you probably got over there laid up underneath you. Their peach rings, they okay. But for me, all they gummies are just too damn hard. I was not there. But one of my members, Tanya, came. Andrew asked me if one of my members could come. So I told Andrew I gave him permission to go, and he came and represented me, Tanya. So yes, I was there in spirit. Hmm. Yep. Wait a minute. I don't even think I have the Real Women of Politics up. I don't even think I have to go find that video, y'all. I don't even know what a Real Women of Politics video is. Damn it. I have to go find that video and upload it for this month, y'all, because we do need the Real Women of Politics. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna have to go on a wild goose hunt for that. We ain't got time right now for me to search for that. I'm gonna try to have it for tomorrow, y'all. All right. Let's see. We ready to get this party started. Hey, J Diva Sanders, you all right over there? You feeling good? You looking good? Hey, Brittany Janae. All right. I think we ready to get this party started. If you not, we about to do it anyway. So I want to start off before we get into the dossier. I do want to start off because a lot of people, I had some people DM me and ask me my thoughts on the situation with Caleb Wilson over at Southern University. For those people who are not aware, last week there was announced the death of 20-year-old Caleb Wilson. He was a student at Southern University in Baton Rouge. He was a member of the Human Jukebox marching band. He was in the trumpet section, but he was pledging Omega Psi Phi. They had an off-campus hazing situation, and he ended up losing his life during that ritual. Hey, Cymera. We know I'm a member of the Divine Nine. I'm a member of several organizations that um that have been in years past associated with hazing. I'm not going to go into my own history with hazing. It is what it is. I'm in all of these organizations. I'm in several organizations that people associate with hazing rituals and things like that. What I will say is this: anytime you have any situation, and it doesn't even have to be hazing, it could just be you out with your friends and y'all are doing exercise routines or whatever you have going on. There should always be did I say hey to you, Cymera? Hey, Cymera. Child, it's just so much, Cymera. I had to just stop adding to the dossier. Um, so my thoughts on it is this: you have to be smart in everything you do. Anything, uh, uh, anything innocent can turn into something horrible. It's very easy looking from the outside to be like, "Oh my God, da 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 da," but on the opposite side, someone has lost their life. Someone is without their son. So certainly there has to be some accountability. Hey, Xavier. Hey, Demetria. With anything, you have to have some level-headed person in the room, regardless of the person, because in most of these situations, the person does consent. Hey, Sharice. Um, um, the person consents a lot of times. Sometimes you'll also see that the person may have pre-existing conditions or they may have underlying medical conditions that they don't disclose because they don't want to be ostracized or they don't want to not be included in everything so as to not feel like they didn't go through the right way. But there always has to be someone in a room that is level-headed and can see something going awry and say, hey, wait, stop. Nope. too much, that's enough. That's it. That's all. And accidents happen, unfortunately. Um, it's a very unfortunate incident. Hazing is illegal, I believe, in most states. I said most because it's actually not illegal in all 50 states, but it is illegal in most states. Hazing can be not physical. People associate hazing with just physical um hazing, but there's mental hazing as well. I can tell you right now, some of the mental hazing is probably worse. There are certain things I can go places and have a smell, and it will instantly, if I smell a certain thing, it will instantly take me back. And I'll be like, what the and my whole body will kind of shut down because I'll be thinking about something that happened. So mentally, it is just as bad. Xavier, honestly, they probably the national headquarters, international headquarters of all of these organizations usually act pretty quickly on this. There probably will be memberships revoked. That goes without saying. That chapter will probably have a hefty suspension if they're not taken off campus altogether. And in a lot of those situations, there's going to be swift and quick um actions from the fraternity level. The fraternity will probably, well, not just the fraternity, the school itself, they'll probably remove that fraternity and just remove its membership from the fraternity altogether. And maybe 15, 20 years from now, they may think about bringing the fraternity back on. But I've seen no less in all of these situations where someone has died, that organization usually has a quite a hefty suspension from that respective university, because they want to remove any vestiges of that former chapter or that the former entity. Hazing, be it physical, mental, I'm gonna let people have their own stances on hazing. Some people don't have a problem with hazing. Some people think there's zero tolerance on hazing. Like I said, I know there are members of Divine Nine within this chat. Shout out to all my Divine Nines. Yeah, this was for the Qs. Janae, I think I saw Quake coming here. Quake, did I see you coming there? Where's Quake? Oh, there she go. Hey, Quake. She done changed her avatar on us. Ain't nobody tell you to change that avatar. Hey, Quake, looking beautiful. Mm. But in most cases, I've seen no less than about 15 to 20 years where that organization is removed from campus. Or as we say, they're off the yard. But in this case, when you say off the yard, that usually means that they're suspended from campus. I could see I could see them not just suspending them, but removing that charter from the campus. Um, for at least 15 to 20 years. They may come back and decide in 15, 20 years whether or not they think it's time to come back, but I could see at least 15 to 20 years. hmm So I'm not gonna go that far, Xavier. There are other organizations outside of the Greek fraternities and Divine Nine that haze and are not called cults. Statistically, more white fraternities and sororities have killed people than black fraternities and sororities. Statistically, that's just the truth of it. More white fraternities and sororities have killed people than black fraternities and sororities. What happens is with us, things get amplified and there's much more of the news coverage like, oh my god, trust and believe. There are statistically, there's a lot more uh, um hazing and people dying in the white fraternities and sororities than the black fraternities and sororities. You can't be trying to slide in the back. Ain't no sliding in. Absolutely, Tracy. The Beehive is absolutely a cult. Now that's a cult. I think the black fraternities and sororities get a bad rap because, like I said, you have these situations, and then when it happens, it is amplified because anything involving black people, deaths or any types of nefarious situation, um or as we like to call them, bad actors, anytime that happens, it gets amplified, so it's the news coverage exponentially grows. People make it, there's much more of a microscope on that situation, and little to no coverage when it's people that look like this. So I'm just saying. Oh, y'all don't unalive some people. You know, y'all just the cult of Beyonce just make sure that y'all hid all y'all hid y'all tracks. Hey, Marla Morris. All of the fraternities brand, all of them. Mm, all of the black fraternities, they do branding. Qs are known for it, but all of the black fraternities brand the Qs, Kappas, Alphas, Sigmas. I don't know. Somebody told me it's another fraternity called Iota something. I don't know those people. I can't tell you what they do. I don't know those people, Marla Morris. They told me there is a fifth fraternity in the Divine Nine, and I know that there is because that's what makes it nine. But I just don't know nothing about them people. It's Iota something. I don't know those people. I don't know what they do. I don't even listen. I don't know nothing about them people. Anyway, but all of them, all of the fraternities, they all brand. So I've worked with collegiate chapters for years, and you are correct about the white fraternity. They do. And here's the deal: the white fraternities and sororities, their members that have already passed through, their alumni members, a lot of times are very well off, very rich and well off, very affluent members, and they have the money to make things go away. And then the other sad part is, and this is the part that you all don't know because if you're not in it, the white fraternities and sororities may kill somebody and they may get a 1 to 2 year suspension from the from campus, and then they're right back. A black fraternity or sorority have a similar situation, and now they have to be going 15 to 20 years. See how that works? White fraternity, sorority, kill somebody, they get 1 to 2 year suspension from campus, and then they're right back. Black fraternity and sorority, you go on 15, 20, 25 years. I'm trying to see how that adds up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Wait, what? I don't know what that is. Jeanette, I can't even. I owed I owed a fee sata iota fee sata. I don't know what that is. Jeanette, I never heard of that. I'm just saying. Y'all trying to call it. I never heard of this thing. Wait, what? Is that new? I don't know what that is. Um, I'm just saying. mm, mm, Child. You'd be surprised, Angela. You'd be surprised. I never liked the idea of branding. It reminds me of slave ownership. I know that's not the intent, but the optics. It does go along that line. It's without going and spending too much time on it. Bilo Didi, that is a part of it. I'm not going to lie to you and say that's not a part of it. They are self-insured for that very absolutely, absolutely. And right now, speaking to that symmetry, all of the Divine Nine, all of this, all four sororities and all five fraternities have real difficulty being insured for reasons like this. It's really hard. That's something every national headquarters or international headquarters, I should say, speaks to the difficulty in finding insurance and the amount that they have to pay for insurance premiums because of things like what we have going on with Caleb Wilson. um it becomes very hard, but like I said, this is also because there's no equity in when they look at how the white fraternities or sororities have killed much more people and the black fraternities and sororities. I'm just saying. What am I being disrespectful about? I don't know what y'all talking about. Child. I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know what you talking about, Baller Boys. I don't know how am I playing? Child. Girl. Somebody said they be having founders days and they founders still be there with them. I don't know. Baby, I don't know about that. So anyway, so I did want to speak on that. My thoughts on it is it's awful that someone had to lose their life. So as somebody as somebody who is, like I said, in a lot of organizations, and I've been through some of the worst, what you all would call hazing situations, and a part of some of the most nefarious organizations that do some of the most nefarious things. Been a part of organizations that have killed people. Okay. Hey, Uncle Jay, I'm Bike Ho. I'm Bike Ho. Having been through all of that stuff, you have to speak out for right founders day with your founders. Girl, where they do that at? That's how I know you're real. Anyway, any- y'all so shady. Anyway, my point, what I was about to say was, you have to be an advocate for yourself. If you don't feel that, if you can't stop a situation, and you got to know your body. Not you had to mute me. If you don't know yourself and your body and can't say, hey, I can't do anymore, this is enough, you have to advocate for yourself. Nothing is worth your health and well-being. Okay. Hey, Isaiah, you know, I wore this hat. Just tell Isaiah I wore this hat for him. Tell him I'm not gonna remind him that some of his founders tried to pledge Kappa down to the Morgan State and got rejected. And then up pops something new. Well, let me be quiet. Anyway, it's time to get this party started, y'all. Ow! God! Let's go ahead and get this party started. I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm not playing this game with y'all. Y'all not gonna be out here making me look like some horrible, shady ass person. I have to start today. Hey, Antonia, how you doing today, Antonia? Antonia, you see what they got me doing over here, girl? God, I gotta put on my hoodie on that hoodie. Ooh, the hoodie is on. All right. Mm. So, hey, Spicy Original. It's a lot of MSUs. Mississippi State, Michigan State. I mean, Ain't nobody want to be a what? I don't even know what picture that is. Xavier. Right. The only brown we like is the ups. The ups. The UPS. What can Brown do for you? Brown here looking like y'all interviewing for the goddamn UPS position. Let me shut up. Anyway, oh, Morgan State. Oh, see, I said Michigan State, Mississippi State, Morgan State. You went to Morgan State? Oh, okay. Mm. Child. Mm. If I look on my resume, Demetria, I might be able to say that I did too. It was good, Demetria. I ain't gonna tell nobody. It was real good too, Demetria. I ain't gonna tell nobody. It was real good. Matter of fact, I told him, "You sure you're an iota?" Girl, don't get me started, Demetria. Child, child. mm. Hey, you pledged Delta at Morgan, right? Okay. Child. Wait, what? I don't know what that means. I done had plenty of canes and I got curved. I don't know what you're talking about. If you're trying to disparage my wonderful fraternity, Uncle Jay, we're not going to do this today. That's what we're not going to do. Child. Oh, you better tell the truth and shame the devil, Demetria. Anyway, child, they got to do something right over there, Demetria, because they ain't pledged the right fraternity. So they got to get something right. Right, Tracy W. How did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. Girl, oh, you pledged AKA. Oh, listen, I can't keep up. I don't know. That's like people be trying to tell me I pledged some alpha mess. I said that's disrespectful. God did not sanction nobody saying pledge alpha. What is this pictures that keeps coming up? Oh, Xavier said when you type Kappa, that's what they put it. Oh, what does that mean, Xavier? Don't do that. Don't do that. Child. Yana, you don't even want to know what you walked in on. We was talking about the guy at Southern that got killed, and now they going on talking about there's really only all of the real fraternities and sororities already had centennials. Anybody that haven't had a centennial don't matter. Shout out to the great eight because they don't know what the divine nine is. Anyway, we're moving on. We gotta start off with some bad news. Now I know I was out of town, but I do want to give a shout out and say rest in peace to Angie Stone, who we know passed away a few days ago. She tragically passed away, leaving an actual. They say she was leaving a performance, and tragically lost her life in a accident. They say the sprinter that she was in flipped like 3 times and I think got hit by an 18 wheeler, and there was more than just her on the uh, uh um in the vehicle, but she's the only one, from what I understand. Um, from what I understand, she's the only one in the vehicle that passed away. Um, some of I love, Angie Stone had that soul tree. She was hardcore neo soul. She was soul tree. I love some of my favorite songs is I can't eat, I can't sleep anymore. Ow, waiting for love to walk through the door. I wish I didn't miss you anymore. That's Angie Stone. She sang Black Brother, I love you. I remember that song too. That was a good song too. Angie Stone had absolutely some hits there. Mama could sing. She could sing. She could flat out sing. And all y'all whores out here mad at that woman because y'all was lusting after D'Angelo. And while y'all was over there lusting, mama was getting her blocks beat out by that same D'Angelo. Y'all was over there fiending for D'Angelo. And guess what? Mama was getting her blocks beat in. Her shape turned. Get her back blown out by the one who everybody wanted. I ain't even mad at it. Quite as it's kept. He was cute. He was fine now. I ain't gonna lie, the man was fine. But he did give me, he had a real regular. Like he gave me a good 5.5. He give me that's all he gonna have, which is okay for some people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Listen. He's nice piece of eye candy, but he got about a good 5.5. That's about it. That's about all you gonna get. Child. Listen. Nobody's taking your opinion on men, Xavier. You like Drewski. You already lost with 99.9% of the public, okay? The only people who like Drewski is him and his mammy. That's it. Not even the women that he has sex with like him. They only like his money. Only Drewski has a look and face and an aesthetic and a whole personality. Only his mammy like. Notice I said only his mammy because his daddy probably don't like him either. I didn't say I would not let him get none. I just said he probably got like 5.5. So you could do somersaults and cartwheels and death drops and dips and spins on the dick. You could go in the bedroom and go to town, Harold. You ain't got to do all that with it. You ain't got to be over there, biting pillows and climbing walls from Mr. D'Angelo. Mr. How does it feel? Because he go get in the bedroom and say, "How does it feel?" And I might be like, "Oh, you was in? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and clench a little tighter." I'm just saying. I ain't say I wouldn't let him get none, but he gives me it's a good 5.5. And I ain't even mad about it. Now the way his lips shaped, he give me that he's gonna eat that box. And baby, listen, where he eat that box, please be clear. When that young man eats that box, baby, he's gonna send you on the glory. He's gonna eat the shit out of that box. Child. If they don't know what they doing, you right, Uncle Jay. If they don't know what they doing, you be like, just get out, just go. I done had that, Uncle Jay. Now you spoke a word. I done had some small with, and you be like, stop. What you poking in the? It don't feel good. Just get out. Just go. Or just flip over. Let me handle this. I'm gonna do you. You ain't got enough to do me. Cha. What Tracy said? Wait, what did Tracy say? Hold on. Cha, I don't even see what Tracy said. But we gonna shout out Angie Stone. I agree, Tracy W. She gave you like the new school Betty Wright. You know what I'm saying? She had that sultry, soul alto about her and would just sit in it. Good thing about Angie Stone, you never saw her trying to get out of her comfort zone, out of her range. Angie Stone would sit there right in her range and give you just sultry, soulful. You felt Angie Stone. Everything she sang was intentional, deliberate. You felt that thing. Nothing was just haphazardly. So shout out to her. May she rest in power, rest in peace. You never know when it's your time. She lived 63 years. And we're thankful for her. I am continuing our Black History. Now, I'm not going to give you 2 a day, okay? We did 2 a day for Black History Month. And we're going to do 1 a day now, okay? Just 1, not 2. Just saying. Anyway, so it's time for our Black History moment. She had a natural sex. She did, Xavier, I agree. She had a natural sex appeal about her, which is why D'Angelo was over there blowing her back out. They got a son. I think their son grown. I think the son is grown. Somebody's gonna fact check me on that. But I think the son is grown. I think their son is grown now. Anyway, for our I need you to find the black man from the real. We got questions for him. We do. Nobody knows why he was in the. I gotta find my real women apology. I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna put that in the. I'm gonna put that over here so we can have it and play it for Women's History Month. Child. Anyway, for our Black History moment today, we're gonna learn about the Katz. That's Katz. Katz. The Katz drugstore sit-ins protest. This took place in Des Moines, Iowa in 1948 and 49, well before what most people looked at as the civil rights era. The Katz drugstore protest in Des Moines, Iowa began on July 7th, 1948, when Edna Mae Griffin, John Bibbs, Leonard Hudson, and Griffin's 1-year-old daughter, Phyllis Griffin, entered the Katz drugstore to eat at the lunch counter. The group was refused service because they were black, leading Griffin to launch a protest against Katz racial discrimination. Her protest eventually resulted in a lawsuit filed by the state of Iowa. The state of Iowa versus Katz. The lawsuit came before an all-white jury that found the owner of Katz drugstore, Maurice Katz, and the store manager, C.L. Gore, guilty of racial discrimination. They were fined just $50 by the court. That's it. Edna Griffin, her daughter Phyllis, John Bibbs, and Leonard Hudson entered Katz drugstore located at the intersection of 7th and Locust Streets in downtown Des Moines because it had long been a symbol of local racial discrimination, despite such discrimination being illegal in Iowa. The group entered Katz around 3:45 p.m. They took their seats at the counter, and a waitress approached them to take their order for ice cream. As the waitress walked to the ice cream dispenser, store manager C.L. Gore came out and whispered something into the waitress's ear. She then returned to the group and told them that she could not serve them because of their race. While Edna Griffin persuaded Bibbs and Hudson to join her in the initial protest, the first sit-in demonstration led her to organize a powerful collective effort that eventually included dozens of black and white protesters, including many belonging to the Progressive Party, which that year was mounting an independent presidential campaign led by Henry Wallace, an Iowa-born former vice president in the Franklin Roosevelt administration. While Progressive Party members were adamant opponents of racial segregation and supported the protests, it was Griffin who spearheaded the months-long campaign that included boycotts, sit-ins, and pickets against Katz drugstore and other lunch counters around Des Moines. Together with Bibbs and Hudson, Griffin also filed a civil lawsuit against Katz. The three were represented by local lawyers and Des Moines NAACP members Charles Howard and Henry McKnight. The Polk County attorneys separately prosecuted the Katz owner, Maurice Katz, bringing criminal charges under the 1884 Iowa Civil Rights Act, which prohibited discrimination in public accommodations. Griffin's testimony against Katz in the criminal case, State versus Katz, which ended in December 1949, was a pivotal moment in the fight for civil rights. First, the Katz drugstore and store manager, Gore, were found guilty of practicing racial discrimination by an all-white jury and fined $50, while Griffin was awarded $1 in damages. Edna Griffin was awarded $1 in damages. On December 2nd, 1949, attorneys Howard and McKnight separately negotiated a successful agreement to end Katz's discriminatory practices. Katz settled out of court, agreeing to pay $1,000 and to end the store's discriminatory practices. The Iowa Supreme Court upheld the conviction on December 13th, 1949. And that is the story of the Katz of the Katz drugstore sit-ins protest. Hopefully you learned something. I myself did not know this story about this happening in Des Moines, Iowa. Now, I want y'all to put a pin in the fact that this happened in Iowa. And if you look at the history of Iowa, Iowa was one of the first states that made it illegal to discriminate based on to have a civil rights law on the books. The law that they talked about, which was the 1884 Iowa Civil Rights Act. I want y'all to pay very close attention to that. We're going to get to a story later today where we see the state of Iowa has done a complete opposite. All right. And with that, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, gender-conforming members of our audience, I bring to you the great Larry Myers to help us usher in our Sugar Spike segment.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So long, well, I want to fight. Daddy gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus!
I wish somebody help me.
Sorry, y'all. I was trying to grab a bite to eat while that was playing. Anyway, so of course we had to start here because I mean, how do you describe what happened this past what was that, Friday? Like, I think we all watched in shock and awe. It was stunning. It was completely stunning what we watched take place in the Oval Office. Stunning. Completely stunning. Even the staunchest of Trump supporters that I know that I've spoken with, they were stunned at this meeting between Zelensky and Donald John and him completely removing all U.S. backing and support for Ukraine, and the fact that the Russian government is trying to occupy Ukraine. We already had them occupy Crimea. We had that whole situation years ago. And now they're trying to annex and occupy whole sections of Ukraine. And they've been in a war that Russia started. They're not even willing to admit that Russia started the war. Just stunning. Stunning. There are no words for what you saw in front of cameras. Or there's no way to explain it away. Now, what baffles the mind, and I hope that everybody sees and understands, that the entirety of the Republican leadership is fully engaged in, is fully complicit in, and is fully involved in the dismantling of our democracy. None of the Republican leadership dared to call. Hey, L Love, my love, how you doing, sweetheart? None of the Republican leadership called y'all's president to the carpet on this. None of them, matter of fact, they backed him up on this. Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, House Majority Leader John Thune, and all of the Republican leaders, all lockstep and key with Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and their fuck shit in the White House. At this point, all of our allies are at the point where they know point blank that America is no longer the leader of the free world. America, in that moment, if it wasn't already clear, this country has now given up the title leader of the free world. And now, see, the issue is Donald John and his acolytes and sycophants seem to believe they're so smart. They're smarter than everybody in the room, and they're always getting it wrong. I always say, if you're the smartest one in the room, you need to go find another room. You need to go find another room to be in if you're the smartest one in the room. And so now what you have is he's diminished his own position globally and internationally. He's diminished. If you're talking America first, these are the same people that will throw out this, oh, we're America first, we're America first. And in that one sit down on Friday, you completely diminished our position globally. What you basically have said is, we no longer want to be the leaders of the free world. We no longer want to be that country that everybody looks to for guidance and takes guidance and from. Like, it was stunning. And I'm not saying that maybe discourse or arguments like this may not happen in the Oval Office or between leaders of respective countries. I'm sure they do all the time. But what happens is this happens behind closed doors, where they're hashing out positions on things. and they may not even come to an agreement, but when they get in front of the cameras, there is this understanding that, okay, you may say something like, we had an upfront and honest and blunt meeting. We still have some things that we need to work on, and we'll come back to the table at a later time. There's always an amount of decorum. What we had here was a fucking shit show, and we look like we have no clue what's going on, and all of our allies are now seeing who and what we voted for, because they're not going to differentiate who did and did not vote for this man. When they look over at us here at the in the United States, they're going to say they voted for him. So they're going to say we voted for him. There's no, when the global community looks at us, they don't go, oh, he wasn't voted in by everybody. They're going to say, nope, he won the election democratically. So that's who those stupid ass Americans wanted. So when we're looked at, they're going to say that's who they voted for. This is not good, y'all. Even if you feel like, oh, well, we're not, this doesn't involve us, we shouldn't have been giving money over there to Ukraine. What you have to understand is, when you take these types of positions where you say you don't want to get involved, you lose your standing. And America is all about their standing and their positioning within the international community. And all of that was lost. And when you lose that positioning and standing, it's not easily gotten back. What happens is, just yesterday, just days later, the leaders within Europe, as you can see, they're standing in solidarity with President Volodymyr Zelensky. After that whole debacle in the White House, in the Oval Office on Friday, European leaders, they stepped up in support of Ukraine. They did. To help them in the Britain's prime minister called an emergency meeting of European leaders. They all went and met with the British prime minister, and they all backed Ukraine. Like I said, all of our allies, and Europe is a heavy, the EU and those countries in Europe have been adamant allies of the US for a long time, going back to World War II, when the US helped back those European countries in the fight against the Third Reich, Hitler, and Germany's regime, have been allies of the United States, because the United States, during the time of the Soviet Union, kept Russia from going to war again and taking over most, if not all, of Europe. Because please be clear, Russia wanted all of Europe, the USSR, I should say. So, and may have all been thrown away in one fell swoop, one failed meeting, one shit show of a meeting, and now we've alienated all of our allies. Right, NATO, we have totally. Now, let's be clear. Donald John has said for a long time he didn't want any parts of NATO. He didn't like NATO. He didn't want any parts of NATO, and he really only stayed in NATO and kept doing right by it because in the first term he had people around him that knew enough to tell him, yeah, you can't back out of NATO. But he's been on record saying he does not like NATO and wants no parts of NATO. And nobody has sat down with him. Mind you, this is someone who never was in politics, who has no understanding of foreign affairs, who has no understanding of international law, who has no understanding of policy, politics, who are just looking things from the outside with no history, experience, and understanding of what's going on, and just unilaterally saying we don't need NATO, we can be on our own. And that's not how this thing works. We live in a global community, and at the moment that we as a country believe that we can be out here by ourselves on our own, we are destined for failure. This experiment that is the yet to be United States of America, we certainly will see it burning to the ground, and the fire has already started. I did not even see that. You said it just broke out. Wow, I can believe that. But that has a lot to do, Antonia, with Pam Bondi being embarrassed because she promised Republicans that when they put out the Epstein papers, that they was gonna have a whole lot of names and lists, and she was gonna unsheath it, and you was gonna see a whole lot, and it was a whole lot of nothing. And she found out she didn't even have all of the files. And she put that shit out. And when it was nothing there, there were even some Republicans calling for Pam Bondi to have her ass resign because she promised them a whole bunch in the Epstein files and got nothing. So that's what that's about. So Pam Bondi returned serve and said, "Oh, I'm not going to be ousted. I'm going to oust the FBI director in New York because she felt betrayed that she didn't have all of the files from the Southern District of New York." That's what that's about. Listen, V. Carter, this whole isolationism means that China, see, people have threats of the wrong place. China is looking at this like, okay, no problem. We're going to play our hand, but we see how the tides are turning in our favor. BRICS is going to get much stronger. BRICS is going to become much more of a power player. Listen, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that, Jason. Now, people, if you don't know what BRICS is we have NATO, and BRICS is another organization like NATO, but it's countries that are not a part of NATO. So BRICS, you have Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, I know is in there. I believe Indonesia is in there. Iran is in it too. UAE is in it. I think those are the countries, but it's called BRICS because originally it was Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That's why, because those are actually at first it was just BRIC, right? When they first started, it was just BRIC: Brazil, Russia, India, China. South Africa came on, it became BRICS. Then at some point they was calling it, I think I remember it being called BRICS Plus or something like that. But I know eventually now we just call it BRICS. But I know several countries. I know Iran came on the BRICS. I know UAE came on, Egypt came on, um, Indonesia was in there. I know I might be missing somebody, Wasn't Ethiopia? I think Ethiopia was a part of BRICS too. I'm sure somebody will fact check that for me. But with NATO at this point being volatile, you're talking Russia, China, India. That's what, half of the global population? Brazil, Russia, India, China. That's more than half of the population of this of this earth. That's more than half the population on earth. Brazil, Russia, India, China, even if it's just them four. That's more than half the population on earth. Child. That's how I know Indonesia is in it, because I remember when they added Indonesia. So in more news, because it gets worse. It gets worse. So in more news, alienating our allies. So you should know. Let me read this right here. Let me read this to you. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration is pausing its offensive cyber operations against Russia. The reasoning for the instruction has not been publicly stated and is not clear how long the halt might last. The Defense Department has declined to comment. The directive reportedly came before Trump ended up in the televised situation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. Since returning to office, now President Trump has softened our stance as a country towards Moscow in his eagerness to reach a deal to end this war. Remember, he talked about, oh, when I get in office, the war will end quickly. And I guess he thought that Ukraine was soft and he could just flex on Ukraine and they would just acquiesce and coalesce and bend the knee, kind of like the Republicans bend the knee to him. No. Now, the Kremlin is already on record saying, oh, we're glad that the United States is aligning to our way of thinking and to our viewpoint on the Ukrainian Russian war. The halt of American cyber operations against Russia came from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in new guidance from U.S. Cyber Command. It leaves questions over the strength of the U.S. fight back in the cyber arena against alleged Russian hacking, in election interference, and sabotage efforts that have targeted the Western nations, which have sided with Ukraine during the war. Let me keep going. Hundreds or thousands of personnel could be affected by Hegseth's orders, according to news outlets and sources close to the situation. Operations aimed at strengthening Ukraine's digital defenses are likely to be among those affected. In a statement, a senior Defense Department official said they would not comment on the issue due to operations concerns, but they did say, quote, there is no greater priority to Secretary Hegseth than the safety of the warfighter in all operations, to include the cyber domain, end of quote. Let me tell y'all, let me tell y'all what's going on here. If you don't know what our offensive cyber operations were, in the wake of Russia interfering into the 2016 election, there was a whole congressional committee that had a whole report on Russia's interference. Donald John refused to ever acknowledge that, because acknowledging Russian interference in the 2016 election calls into question the the legitimacy of his election in 2016. So now, in the wake of that, we know he loves to slurp the pubic hairs of Vladimir Putin. And while they're ending these cyber offenses to Russia, that means that these are things that were put into place to monitor Russia and what whether or not it was interfering into our elections. Again, monitoring Russia to see if there was any hacking coming stateside toward the US from Russia, also aiding and assisting with intelligence and other cyber attacks that Russia was doing to Ukraine, because the war on Ukraine wasn't just on the ground, it was also cyber attacks. So it was also used to monitor that as well, what was going on in the Ukrainian Russian war, as well as it would help our allies, because the information and intelligence we would get and the things that we could report to our allies about Russian interference in certain things, we will pass along to these countries and let them know, hey, Russia was doing this, wanted to let you know. All of that is going out of the window, which means now Russia can go in and do whatever it wants, unfettered, unabridged, unbridled. And the Kremlin is already on record applauding this. So now we can see Pete Hegseth and your president, Donald John, as foreign agents. We literally can basically look at these two like foreign agents, because they are now at the point where they are actively doing the bidding of the Russian government. Why is that an issue? Because they have nuclear bombs that can reach us here in these yet to be United States of America. Because they have nuclear weaponry that can reach our alleged allies, who probably aren't allies anymore, over in Europe. This is a problem. This is a problem. You might be right. You might be right, Pinky Tiki. Like, this is not good. The stuff I'm bringing you today, I tried to make it was a lot of news today, and I'm trying to bring you stuff that I know really, really, really matters. And this guy, I know we're doing a lot of international law now, but this stuff really matters. Really matters. In more news. Now, here's what they're not telling you in mainstream media. Sources within the White House are now leaking and letting us know that officials in the White House are drafting a proposal to lift U.S. sanctions on Russia. Let me read this to you. The United States is drawing up a plan to potentially give Russia sanctions relief as Donald Trump seeks to restore ties with Moscow and stop the war in Ukraine, a U.S. official and another person familiar with the matter told Reuters. The White House has asked the State and Treasury departments to draft a list of sanctions that could be eased for U.S. officials to discuss with Russian representatives in the coming days as part of the administration's broad talks with Moscow in improving diplomatic and economic relations. The sanctions offices are now drawing up a proposal for lifting sanctions on select entities and individuals, including some Russian oligarchs, according to sources. So called option papers are often drafted by officials working on sanctions, but the White House's specific request was for one in recent days. The White House's specific request for one in recent days underscores Trump's Trump and his advisors willingness to ease Russian sanctions as part of a potential deal with Moscow. It is not immediately clear what Washington could specifically seek in return for any sanction relief. The White House, the State Department, the Treasury Department, and the Russian embassy in Washington did not immediately respond to requests from media outlets. Y'all have y'all not connected these dots yet? Have y'all not connected these dots yet? Y'all haven't connected these dots yet. Marco Rubio is also a foreign agent who all of our senators voted for. Every single senator sitting in the halls of Congress in the Senate chamber voted to confirm him. This is why I was losing my mind during confirmation hearings and saying it's a problem for any senator to vote to confirm any of these people. But here we are. If you're not into foreign news on the international front that could affect all of us, well, here we are. We got this bitch in the seat as Secretary of Health and Human Services, and he's talking out of both sides of his neck. In one breath, he says, "Oh, parents should he said on Fox News on Sunday that parents should consult healthcare providers to understand their options to get the MMR vaccine," right? This is while still not explicitly recommending parents get the vaccine. He said there's a call to quote call to action for all of us to reaffirm our commitment to public health, end of quote. But you over here telling people they don't need to get vaccinated, right? He then out of the next breath said the decision to vaccinate, quote, the decision to vaccinate is a personal one, end of quote. Which is it, sir? Because it can't be a personal decision if your personal decision could cause an outbreak that affects everyone. That doesn't make sense. We're well over 150 cases at this point. And now they're in more than just Texas. It's in Texas, it's in New Mexico, and there's a third state. Where's that third state? Was it California? Hold on. Thought I had it. There was a third state that I learned about today that now they have. I thought it was California. Mm, mm, mm. Now I can't find it. I ain't gonna be able to find it. Damn it. But there is now a third state with the measles. We already have multiple deaths from measles. We already have multiple deaths from this measles outbreak. Terrence Green, no one knows. This is who the Senate confirmed. This is who a sitting medical doctor, a senator out of the great state of Louisiana, he's a sitting medical doctor. And you voted to confirm this man. This is what we got going on. This is what we have going on. He's a doctor. Senator Cassidy out of Louisiana is a doctor. Used to be a member of the Democratic Party and conveniently left and switched over to the Republican Party. He voted to confirm an anti-vaxxer to be HHS secretary because he promised him during confirmation hearings, oh, I'm not going to change the vaccination schedules. Just New Jersey was the other. Thank you, Candace F. Antonio, you said it was New Jersey and New York? Okay. I thought it was California, but y'all said New Jersey and New York. Thank y'all. Thank you, Tracy. This is a mess. So he's talking out of both. He's saying, oh, it's a personal decision. You can decide to vaccinate if you want. If it's a personal decision, and this personal decision, because what if several people, what if hundreds of people in this case decide it's their personal decision to not be vaccinated? And now we have them causing whole outbreaks. Do I think this is about population control from the same party that wants to outlaw abortions? So you got the same party that wants to outlaw all abortions for any reason whatsoever. And that's the same party that's looking to do population control by allowing people to die from diseases that were supposed to have already been eradicated. I just can't. It's so much going on today, y'all. I don't even have the strength to even go in. I ain't even got a quarter of the way through the dossier. So I put this in the members only chat on while I was out of town. If you're not in the members only chat, you may not be aware because this is not getting mainstream media coverage. The United States Department of Education has launched a portal called the End DEI portal. This portal allows anyone in the country to submit the name, school, address, and information, contact information of teachers and other school employees if you feel they have done anything that may be perceived as DEI. This allows for the Department of Education to investigate them and possibly send it to the Justice Department for legal ramifications. So we got Moms for Liberty that is applauding this, okay? They are behind this. They were behind this. They recommended this to Donald John. They want all parts of this. So now, because your child's teacher has a Happy Black History Month poster up, now that teacher can be submitted to this portal and potentially be investigated by the U.S. Department of Education as well as the Department of Justice. Now, mind you, the U.S. Department of Education does not give certification to any teacher. There's no teacher in America that has to get certified by the U.S. Department of Education. Certifications for teachers happen on a state level. However, you think that the DOE won't go and send information down to a lot of these red states saying you need to get rid of so and so? You think they won't start to put this person's name and information out there in the news cycle to disparage them and nefariously have a witch hunt against teachers who are doing nothing but doing their jobs. Like, this is scary. In a field and avocation where there's already shortages. Every school district in America is facing existential shortages in teaching. This is dangerous, y'all. This is dangerous. It's not just even doxing, Janae. They're trying to have these people sent to the Department of Justice because they're saying that they're in violation of the president's executive order. If you weren't paying attention, your president also signed an executive order declaring that the official language for the United States is English, in case you wanted to know. We've never had an official language in this country. Well, according to now, that's not law. What this that's just his executive order. Now, this executive order allows government agencies and organizations that receive federal funding to choose whether to continue to offer documents and services in languages other than English. Now, President Clinton back in the 90s put out a mandate that required the government and organizations that receive federal funding to provide language assistance to non-English speakers. But your president says, no, this is what we're doing. So now, for all of you, I will vote for Donald Trump. All of y'all people, all of Marco Rubio parents and shit, all of the Cuban Americans and all of Latinos and all of the people who did not vote for Trump. Now government agencies don't have to provide anything to you in Spanish. They already took down the White House website that's in Spanish. They don't have to provide you anything in any other language. Here we are. Here we are. In more news, now the Democrats said that tomorrow Trump is supposed to speak before a joint session of Congress. Democrats have said that they're going to bring fired federal workers to Donald Trump's speech tomorrow before a joint session of Congress. Tomorrow night is a joint session of Congress. We'll get me and Cams. We'll do a watch along. We'll do a watch along of the speech. Me and Cams tomorrow night. But the Democrats have said that they're going to be bringing several fired federal employees with them to the speech tomorrow. In good news, shout out to Wes Moore. Governor Wes Moore has announced a 5-step plan for Maryland to hire the fired federal workers that live there. His plan includes expanding the Maryland Workforce Assistance Portal, hosting job fairs, streamlining hiring processes, and helping laid off workers transition into second careers as teachers. The governor believes these actions will help address the state's teacher shortage, which currently has about 2,000 vacancies, which we just talked about. And he has other things in place with many of the cities within Maryland to help transition them into becoming state government workers in Maryland. Shout out to him. Hopefully, some other state governors can do the same thing. Y'all notice I'm going real fast on this stuff because we already at 6:45. But yeah. But shout out to Wes Moore. We need more leadership like this. We need more leadership like this. I want tacos and tequila. Listen, Cymera, I can't speak to these people. I can't speak to what these people have going on. I saw this video and I said, I gotta show this to my people. So this is another case of police acting badly. Here's the video. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not the video. Where's the video? Hold on, y'all. Hold on, where's the video? Oh, here it is, right here. Okay. Here's the video.
Here's your stuff.
Okay.
Start walking this way.
Okay.
Start walking this way.
Don't push me. What?
So start walking
What
this
are
way.
you doing? What
Keep your
are you
hands to
doing?
yourself.
What are you
Start walking
doing?
this
What
way.
are you doing?
We're escorting you outside because you can't go without assaulting my partner.
Me, I assaulted
Yes,
you.
you did. You're okay.
Okay, they're controlling you. Be careful. They're very superstitious. Say a
Stop
prayer.
looking at it.
Say
Just
a
walk
prayer.
forward. You'll be okay.
They want to sue the department. I'm telling you. They want to sue the department.
Okay.
Okay, this is terrible contact. This is contact.
You'll be okay.
This is outside.
You're gonna be
This is
reported.
outside.
FBI is overseeing
Stop
this
talking.
and how you act.
Stop
Thank you.
talking.
Have a good night.
You'll be okay.
This is what we got going on. And these are the people who your president and who Congress wants to give complete immunity to. You notice at the end of that video, the man was cussing the lady out for no reason. The lady was not aggressive or anything. Then he shoved the woman to the ground. Now, they have placed this police officer on administrative leave. My question is, why aren't all of those officers? You notice how they watched them push that woman to the ground and then just walked inside like there was nothing to see here. But these are the people who they want to give complete immunity to. Complete immunity to. I wanted to talk about this. So when we talked about earlier how the Trump administration was doing away with the cyber offense on Russia and monitoring all of the things going on with Russia in terms of cyber attacks and stuff like that. Well, here's something more that this administration has done. Let me read this to you. The Trump administration laid off 90 people, 90 people from the General Services Administration, including all members of the 18F tech team who focused on improving federal digital services. The 18F tech team, formed during the Obama administration, worked on projects like IRS Direct File and COVID.gov, which help millions access important services. Emails sent to employees stated that their positions were being eliminated as part of an agency reduction in force. Jeff White, the General Services Administration, from the General Services Administration, confirmed the layoffs complied with executive orders aimed at reducing the federal workforce. So, the 18F committee, a lot of times they were formed so that when the government has new technological things, new websites or new things that they want to go in front of the general public, the 18F committee was a committee that would go and make sure that it was user friendly, make sure that the coding and the technology behind it was secure and everything was in the right way. These were people who, like the article said, they are the ones who came up with, designed, and had oversight of the IRS direct file, so you didn't have to always go through TurboTax or H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt or all of those other people. You could file directly with the IRS. They also help implement the COVID.gov website. At any time you have these technological either websites or things in technology that has to touch the general public, where the American electorate has to interact with it, that's what the 18F tech team did. They have all been basically laid off or fired. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. But you're not going to hear about this in regular social media. Is Really Be already live? Really Be is probably already. Can somebody go over there and check to see if Really Be is already live? YouTube ain't gonna never give me no yeah, she already live. Let me just I'm gonna have to save some of this for tomorrow, y'all, because Really Be is already live, unfortunately. So I'm gonna hurry up and get off of here. I am supposed to go over the fact that Andrew Cuomo is back. He did announce that he's running for the mayor of New York. I told you, U.S. Representative Torres says he's going to endorse him. I ain't even got time to touch that. We may do it tomorrow. I also wanted to touch the fact that there was a court case. There is a case working its way through the U.S. district courts out of D.C., where the Department of Justice was forced to admit that they don't know how many troops are trans and have no reason for banning trans service members, which could throw a monkey wrench in their court case. I was also supposed to get to Iowa, and the same Iowa that passed one of the earliest ever civil rights laws by a state is now the same Iowa that has removed civil rights. For the first time in this country, a group of individuals' civil rights has been removed from law. So Iowa, it went all the way through all of their legislature and was signed by their governor to literally remove civil rights from the transgender community. Now, while other minority groups may think that this is not anything that involves them, if this is upheld, because this will go to the courts, if this new law is upheld and makes it through the circuits and makes it to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court upholds this, what that means is all civil rights can now be in jeopardy. That means for Black people, that means for Latino people, that means for Asian people, that means all civil rights. You could have states that ceremoniously remove all civil rights. If they could remove one group of people from civil rights legislation, they can remove them all. I'm just saying. A lot of these stories I'm going to touch on tomorrow. I'll get to this story. This is a actual biological cisgender woman who was denied access to a women's bathroom because they said she looked too masculine. which goes back to this whole bathroom. We'll cover this tomorrow as well. I was supposed to talk about the Oscars. Cynthia Erivo had a moment last night, sang her face off, had a whole moment. We'll have to talk about that later. Shout out also to Paul Tazewell, who became the first Black man to win an Oscar for costume design. Shout out to him. And that was for Wicked. Zoe Saldana won her first Oscar, which she won for Amelia Perez. I did finally go watch that. And she earned her first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. So shout out to her. She gave a beautiful speech last night. I was supposed, this might have made it to the Sugar Spike segment. For you foodies out there, Texas wants to change the name of New York strip steak to Texas strip steak. And people are losing their minds about that. I may have to do that tomorrow too. And our last story was about Omarion. That don't matter. Omarion say he don't have it to do with members of B2K. I'm sorry. Ooh, B2K anymore. We ain't got nothing to do with that. But I got to get out of here because Really B is live, and I don't want to infringe on her time no more. I love a good New York strip as well, but they said Texas said they're not going to be calling it New York strip no more. They're going to, if they could change the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, then they could change New York strip to Texas strip. We'll get to all of those stories tomorrow. Listen, y'all, I'm sorry I went over time. Tell Really B when you go over there, I say I'm sorry for going over time. That's all I got for y'all today. Until tomorrow, as I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. Let me set up this and send y'all over to Really B right now. Don't go over there. Oh, Ravine not in the chat, so I ain't got to worry about nobody snitching on me. Because it's only Ravine who snitches on me. But tell Really B I said I'm sorry for going over time. And I'll do better next time. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I started late today, so that's why I'm late. Anyway, y'all, that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.